Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jay Klein Connect here, along with head coach Scott Langer. Coach, the weekend against Bismarck, we're going to get into here in just a moment. But before we do, some bad news coming out of the last week. Spencer Schneider sustaining an injury, and boy, I just wanted to mention it because it's such a tough break for him, and he's been such a big part, an instrumental part of this locker room. You know, as his work ethic is poured over to so many guys, and he means a lot to this team. So that's a tough break for sure, and a big blow to your team, I would imagine.
He's arguably the best player on the team when it comes to being able to play in all situations. Mm-hmm. You know, we have a lot of good players here that do a lot of great things, not to take anything away from them, but you know, Spencer's a guy that does a lot of those little things that are needed to win hockey games, and he's a big part of it. I mean, there's a reason why he won the Hard Hat Award for this year's team, and he's a huge loss. So the other guys have to step up, and obviously it's going to be nice to see Spence once he gets back here and he joins the team again, but there's no replacing a guy like Spencer Schneider.
Yeah. I know Peyton Matsui mentioned on the ice that they were playing for him, going to win it for him, and that, like you said, one of the best defensive players on the team too, because he plays, like you said, both sides so well. But certainly wishing Spence a speedy recovery, and definitely is missed and will be missed. 5-3 win on Friday night. You go up 2-0 in the first 6 minutes, up 3-1 at one point, but Bismarck just wouldn't go away. They end up tying it 3-3. Kaz got the lead right back. I think it was 7 seconds later or something to that effect. And then an empty netter sealed the win for you guys, a 5-3 win, as I mentioned. What were your thoughts on Friday's matchup?
Yeah, it was good. It was great to get out early. Obviously, our guys played with some excitement right out of the gate and gave us the lead and obviously the momentum. And you know, we gave up a few chances, and the few chances ended up going to the back of the net. But again, big time play by our captain Clayton Constantino, who's having a really good playoff and finding a way to answer right away and get our guys up off the bench and going again. Yeah, huge momentum swing to get that one in the back of the net. I mean, not much of a surprise that it comes from the captain. And moving on to Saturday, you know, we talked. Well, and you just mentioned kind of too that, you know, some turnovers and so on, some things that you needed to clean up a little bit, and playing with the lead. And you did that. A 4-1 win Saturday. I think a more disciplined game is the word you used to kind of describe it. When we talked about playing with a lead, is discipline part of that? Do you think that's kind of what it equates to? Well, it's discipline. It's disciplining yourself to play the right way. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's kind of what we needed. You know, some of the goals that we've given up here in the playoffs are not really what we usually give up. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's just sometimes with the length of a season and playing so often here at the end, you lose focus on really some things, and you cheat a little bit on, and when you cheat in the playoffs, you get scored on. So, but I thought Saturday, our guys, we just didn't give up any chances. And defensively, we were back to where we wanted to be, and we got timely scoring, and you know, I thought that was probably our best game yet in the playoffs. Well,
and you mentioned it, it's something that you guys played with a lead and were disciplined on a pretty regular basis throughout the regular season. Are teams in the playoffs presenting different looks or different, you know, maybe some different things to deal with, I guess, that are creating those problems that didn't really show up in the regular season?
No, I just think that, you know, it's playoffs are tight. Mm-hmm. Playoffs it's just what it is. I mean, teams play hard, mm-hmm. and they play hard every shift. And you can't take a shift off, and if you make a mistake, a lot of time it hurts you. I mean, there's no different. If you watch the NHL playoffs right now, it's the same thing that's going on in those series. It's puck luck, it's the right bounces, and you know, I think you get everybody's best game, and you know, there's when you play in the same team, you know, multiple times over, you know, they get a good read on you, you get a good read on them.
Sure.
But again, we capped off the weekend with one of our best efforts.
And that's all that matters. On the road to Bismarck, you know, you first round up 2-0 in the series, going up to Minot. They win too, and push it to a Game 5. So certainly the team and everyone knows that it can be done. Minot showed it. In fact, I was talking with some of the Bismarck scratch players and so on, and they were saying that watching that first round with Minot, it kind of gave them some confidence. Like, well, Minot can do it, we can do it. You know, that kind of a thing. But over the course of the regular season, your team played really well on the road. I guess I know the answer. You're not going to do anything different. But how do you prepare for heading up to Bismarck on Friday to try to close the series out?
Well, you play the same. You prepare the same way you've been preparing. The guys are in a routine. They know what to expect from day to day. They know what their daily schedules look like, but that's not going to be any different. I mean, our team has motivation right now, and being so close to the finish line as far as the Central Division title, that's a lot of motivation. And I feel like our guys have played really good hockey, especially in Bismarck. And, we know that we're going to get their best game, but I can tell you we're going to be prepared going in there Friday night, and we'll take this one game at a time. What we see as some keys. I know obviously we talked about discipline, not cheating, and that kind of thing. But what are some other things that maybe that you guys have need to address, or some things that you've got to sharpen up before heading up there Friday? Well, I think it's the same old story. I mean, I think that all parts of your game have to be sharp when you're playing in a playoff series, no matter whether it's game 1 or game 3. And I don't think our game's going to change much. I don't think they plan on seeing our game change much. Obviously, we have to make in-game tactical decisions that based on what they're doing, but. Like I said, we just have to be ready to go from the drop of the puck. I mean, I'm sure they're going to have a great crowd there. Their fans are behind them, and like they said on their show, it's about taking down Goliath. So my plan is to march Goliath into that rink and do the best we can.
Absolutely. All right, one final thing here before I kind of run through the rest of the league here in just a moment. I wanted to talk about Nathan Mann and Gaffney on Saturday night, both of them with a goal and assist. Seeing quality minutes, really seeing some, as you mentioned earlier when we were talking about Schneider, some guys have got to step up, and it seemed like those two guys really did. Does that surprise you at all?
No.
I didn't think so.
Just watching their maturation throughout the season and how they've grown as players. And, Gaffney is arguably one of our top players every night right now. And Mano is a guy that's been in and out, and he's always had to embrace different roles, and he has. And it's a very difficult thing to do in junior hockey. He's had to basically play every single role there has been, and he's never complained once. And he stepped up big time this weekend. I thought his game was really good both nights. And when you take a guy like Schneider out of the lineup, it's not easy to fill those shoes, and he won't fill those shoes, but he's going to bring a different element. And he's a big, strong, power forward type player, hard to play against, and he's doing a great job.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, well, Wings with the 2-0 lead on the series. 4 teams with the 2-0 lead actually right now. The Minnesota Magicians, Maine Nordiques, and the Shreveport Mudbugs. So a lot could be decided here this Friday. And certainly this weekend. All right, Coach, well, I think that's all I've got for you here, though. But congratulations on a big weekend, and best of luck coming up against Bismarck.
Thanks, Jay.
All right, folks, we'll return with the second portion of Wings Weekly coming up after this.
How you move matters. Avera Orthopedics helps you move freely and live life to the fullest with innovative treatment options customized to your bone, muscle, and joint needs. Whether you suffer from aches, breaks, tears, or dislocations, turn to the orthopedic team experienced in treating every body.
As we continue on with the second portion of Wings Weekly, as usual, a player is joining me, and this time it is Will Arquiett of Brazier Falls, New York. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me again.
Yeah, no problem. Like you mentioned, we had you on earlier in the year, and a lot of the guys that we have on for the second time around, it's a little bit different feel because it's not like an introduction kind of thing. It's more like, how are things going? So I wanted to talk with you guys after having beaten Minot in Game 5. Now you're moving on to the second round of the Divisional Championship Series. What, as a team and as an individual, what was your mindset like going into the Friday, Saturday with Bismarck?
I think after winning Game 1 and 2 against Minot at home, we were feeling pretty good going into Minot, and then we ended up taking it to Game 5. So we had less of a break actually than Bismarck, which I personally like. I don't like a lot of time off from playing. So I think we went in with a good week of practice and went in with confidence at home and playing in front of our fans and stuff. So yeah. I think off the win, we faced some adversity and we built confidence off of that. So I think we went in and feeling good at home.
Yeah. Mindset, again, is a huge part of it. Well, anything different that you guys did as opposed to, because like you mentioned, against Minot, similar situation. Did you guys approach anything differently when it came to preparation? I know Coach often talks about routine and not really changing anything when it's working. But as a group, did you do anything different?
I mean, Minot and Bismarck play different styles. Like
Sure.
Minot is much more physical, and they block shots, and they play really hard, and they have a lot of energy, whereas Bismarck is more of a skill team, and they play up and down the ice with speed. But I think overall we keep our game the same,
Sure.
and we go in with the same mindset.
Okay. Well, in game one, you got the Wings up early. I think it was 139 in with a beautiful move to dangle around the defenseman there and
Thanks.
put one in the back of the net. That was pretty awesome. How did that all get set up? Did you? I mean, because again, early on, you got to love getting a goal inside the first 2 minutes like that to give your guys a little bit of jam in their step. And you know, there's energy in the building. The crowd's going nuts. Everything. It was awesome to score that quick. So how did that get set up?
Well, yeah, it's really nice scoring for your team and for yourself early. I think like it gives your team confidence going in and a bit of momentum, and for yourself, it gives you confidence to play your game, and you're feeling good. And
Right.
The puck just got snapped up to Goldie on the wing, and he kind of cut to the middle when the D-man pinched on him and left it for me, and I had speed coming through, and I kind of looked back to make a play, and there was no one there, so I ended up getting a move to the net and ended up going in. So.
Excellent. Again, great move. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your style of play, because you know, you're not one of the bigger guys necessarily in the room. How would you describe your style of play, and is it modeled after anybody?
I think I try to play a 200-foot game. I try to play physical, and I like to hit a bit, but I like to make plays, and I like to have the puck too. And I like to play with guys that make plays, and my line mates have been making plays lately, which has been really nice.
Sure.
I don't really know who I model it after, but
Just do your own thing.
Yeah.
And the reason I ask that is because first, there's something about you that reminds me a bit of like a pit bull or something. You know, like you're just everywhere. You're an energy guy, and like you said, you're not afraid to hit. You're bouncing off bodies. You know, you're just kind of all over the place, in a very controlled way. Don't get me wrong, but it just seems like you're a high energy guy that, like you said, isn't afraid to hit by any means, and that's
Thanks.
That's a huge attribute to this team and to your style of play.
Thank you.
Yeah. Talking about different styles and what people bring to the table and so on, I wanted to mention to you or talk to you a little bit about Spencer Schneider, and I mentioned it with Coach earlier on, and he talked about what it means as the coaching staff and as a team, but I wanted to get a player's perspective of what it means to have a guy like that means so much to the locker room, that is one of the leaders, that is a veteran guy that people go to, all those kinds of things that he brings. Does that change or affect the mood in the locker room at all?
I mean, yeah, it's tough because Spencer's a do-it-all kind of guy, right? Like he plays on the power play, he plays on the penalty kill, he plays 5-on-5, and he always plays hard. Like he probably blocks the most shots on our team. He's physical. He scores goals, and then in the locker room, he's a great guy. Like he's always making the guys laugh, and he kind of brings everybody together.
Yeah.
And we do this thing before games where he kind of gives a little speech and stuff, and we definitely miss that. And he says a lot of the right things in the locker room as well. He's a leader. So the boys definitely miss him, and we're excited to have him back, even if he's not playing.
Yeah.
Just to be here with us.
Definitely. What have you got to do as a team to finish out this series up in Bismarck?
I think we just need to play our game the way we've been playing. I think we need to play hard on them for a full 60 minutes, and we can't really give them anything because they can score goals and stuff.
Yeah.
They can play offensively, so hopefully we can play our game full 60 and finish it out in one.
All right. Well, my final question was going to be about confidence and about having gone through Game 5 with Minot, but you kind of talked about that already, about how you knew going into Bismarck, and the way you guys were playing against, after winning 2 in Minot, or here against Minot, and then the same preparing for Bismarck. You kind of mentioned the fact that it did give you some confidence to know that, hey, if it does come down to that, you're not going to roll over and play dead, so to speak, and you found a way to do it.
It's not the end of the world.
Right. So that kind of, you already answered my final question there. So I'll other than one other, and that it has nothing to do with hockey. It's been 100 degrees I mean, that is not conditions that you guys are normally in a locker room and in a rink with and stuff.
Not at all.
So what's it like away from the rink? Are you guys able to get out and go do things like golf and fish and things like that?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I'd say like Sunday we usually rest a lot, but Monday through Wednesday and Thursday, day before a game, we usually rest as well. But we usually get some like fishing in or a little bit of golf. We play over at Rolling Hills.
Right on.
Or yesterday the guys all got together and we were playing cornhole. You know that game?
Yeah, Bags, you bet.
Sitting by the pool and tanning a little bit, and stuff like that. It's been nice. It's not great for the ice though.
No. What's that been like? A little more bounce on the puck and
it's
stuff.
better than I thought, but it's definitely soft. Yeah, the puck's a little bouncy and stuff, but everybody's got to play on the same ice.
That's true. That is true. I just think it's funny. You're tanning and golfing, and it's like, oh, now it's game day. We're gonna go play on hockey. It's just, well, who knew that it was going to be 100 degrees in the first part of June?
Not me. Not me.
Me either. All right. Well, Will Arquiett, I appreciate you coming on and giving us a little insight into this playoff run and how you guys are handling things as a team.
Yeah. Thanks again for having me.
You bet. Well, 2021 NAHL Central Division Finals. Wings lead the best-of-5 series 2-0. Next game Friday, June 11th in Bismarck, 7:15 puck drop. Watch at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Aberdeen or hockeytv.com. Listen on 94.1 The Rock, hubcityradio.com, or the Rock app. Saturday, June 12th, game 4 at Bismarck, 7:15 puck drop. That is if necessary. And Monday, June 14th, game 5 versus Bismarck, if necessary. Doors will open here at the Odie at 5:30. Puck drops at 7:15. More information will be shared on Wings social medias. But again, Saturday, Monday, those games would be if necessary. Don't forget, Wings Weekly is now a podcast. Find the audio for this season's episodes on Spotify, Stitcher, or iHeartRadio. And for all the latest news and information on the Wings, visit AberdeenWings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. Once again, Will, thanks so much, and thank all of you for listening and watching. That'll do it for this week's Wings Weekly.